So, as I said in my intro, we're going to talk about life issues, current events, things like that. I was fortunate. I was married for nearly 20 years to a person I still have a tremendous amount of respect for, both as a mother and a person, and certainly as a political scientist. So, I got my undergrad in political science years and years ago, but I was married to a brilliant woman who got her PhD at 29, should have gotten it about 27, but the chair of her dissertation committee passed away at 29. And so we spent many, many, many nights talking about political science, but she taught me more than college ever would. But, we're looking at the 2024 presidential election coming up, and that's always interesting and exciting times for people. Certainly emotions run high. And it's funny, I've had people ask me over the years, why are you voting for this person or that person? I hate that person. You hate that person. You don't like what they say. And I say, you're right. And really, when we look at elections, like a lot of things, what we are doing is what Herbert Simon, the Nobel laureate, coined in 1956 as satisficing. So, satisficing is a portmanteau. It means it's a combination of sacrificing and satisfying. And we make decisions to optimize the best opportunity. So basically, we choose the best of the available options. And I think we can see this in life every day. If you go to buy a car, for example, you may have your eyes set on a red 2024 Corvette. I like fast cars, so that's certainly close to my heart. And I go to the Chevy dealer and I say, look, I want a 2024 red Corvette. And he goes, well, we don't have a red Corvette 2024, but what we do have is we've got a red one in 2023. It doesn't have all the options, but I can get it for you, $15,000 less. So I have to make that decision and say, would I rather wait for that 2024 that I really have my eye on, or is this the best of the available options? Now, it comes down to a personal choice, right? The rational actor model. So when we look at presidential candidates, like all candidates, certainly none of them are going to meet all of our criteria for what we consider to be the best candidate. So we look at them and say, well, which one do I dislike the least, quite frankly? And I think a good example of this, if we go back to 2016, you had Hillary Clinton running against Donald Trump. Donald Trump actually was polled as the most disliked candidate in history running for president, most disliked. Number two, right after him was Hillary Clinton. Yet she still lost the election. And quite frankly, she could have lost the election to my Rottweiler. And the fact of the matter is, when they polled people after the fact, nobody really liked President Trump, or now President Trump, or former President Trump, but they disliked her even more. And that's something that goes on. And where did that whole idea of like and dislike with presidential elections come about? Well, if you look at the first televised debate, it was actually John F. Kennedy against Richard Nixon. So think about this. Before that, you just had people on the radio. You can hear them. You can kind of fabricate in your mind. Here's what I think they look like. Well, then you had that televised debate, and you had John F. Kennedy, this dynamic, young, 30-something-year-old guy from the Northeast, beautiful wife, war hero, PT 109. I mean, the guy did it all. And then next to him, you had Tricky Dick, right? This guy was older and he was stoic and, my name is Richard Nixon. And people just gravitated towards John F. Kennedy, and he was much, much more likable, and he won. So if you look at the 2016 election in particular, I think that really shows us kind of satisficing the idea of likability in a candidate. Whether or not you like or dislike his politics, let's be honest, Bill Clinton, he is that guy. I have no doubt, I've never met him, could walk into a room and by all accounts, everybody gravitates towards him, right? He's the best friend of world leaders, businessmen, blue collar people, military people. You just gravitate towards him. His wife does not have that. So anyways, fact of the matter is, when the election came in 2016, Donald Trump won. I am a firm believer, quite frankly, that if they had not screwed over Bernie Sanders, and I'm not a fan of Bernie Sanders' politics, I think he would have been the president. I think he would have beaten Donald Trump. But the DNC decided to put Hillary Clinton out as their candidate, and she lost to probably the only person she could have lost to, Donald Trump. So we're in this election again here, and now we've got a couple of candidates. We've got Joe Biden, we've got Donald Trump, and once again, it's a who do I dislike the least? That's called satisficing, right? It would be perfect if I could say, well, I'd really like for whomever to win, DeSantis, name your politician, name your flavor, say I'd like them to win, but they're not running. So we've got two choices here. We've got Trump and we've got Biden. And so it really becomes the option of who I dislike least. Now, to quote a band, Canadian band, Rush, in their song, I think it was Subdivisions, if you choose to not decide, you still have made a choice, right? So even people that say, hey, I'm not going to vote because I don't like either one, we've still made a choice, and your voice is still being heard. And that's one of the great things about our country is, we get to have a voice. Whether or not we choose to vote or not, our voice is still going to be heard. So that is satisfying where we're coming to today in the election. Personally, got to be honest, what I've seen over the last 4 years, again, I think if my Rottweiler was still alive, I'd vote for him. I've got a Belgian Malinois now. I will vote for her over Biden. Um, am I a huge fan of Trump? I'm not. I was interviewed on Fox News in 2016 about Trump. I wish he was a little more circumspect and polished in things he would say, but you know what you're getting with him, right? He's not going to hold anything back, and you kind of know what you're getting. And let me be honest. I really don't care about somebody's, personal travails, troubles, whatever. Do I think Bill Clinton should have been, um, beat up because he had an affair in the Oval Office? Look, was it a bad look on the presidency? Of course. Do I think he looked like a jerk? Yeah. Is he a cad? Yeah. Do I think he should have been impeached? Hell no. Do I think any person in his position would have lied about that, or at least, been a little deceptive? Absolutely. Did he do something wrong? Yep. Was it screwed up? Yep. But you know what? He did it. Whatever. Should we have impeached him? Not in a million years. I don't like how impeachment has become kind of this cudgel that both sides are using now. Used it against Trump twice. I think it was screwed up. Now they're trying to use it against Biden. I think it's screwed up. But here we are. So we're going to have to elect who we think is best. Do I think Biden is a good choice for this country? You know what? I went shopping today to buy groceries. Got to tell you, I don't like paying $22 a pound for steak. I like to eat steak. Bidenomics is not working for me, certainly not working for anybody. The world is laughing at us now, on the stage with politics. And we're going to talk about that in some later episodes. But that's where we are, right now. So I'm going to leave that satisfying. So when you go to the polls for any official, that you're looking at election for, you're going to have to say, well, I may not like either one, but which one do I dislike the least, and go with that. And it's kind of funny. They've done a ton of studies on this, and, Americans vote on certain issues, and we prioritize that based upon our personal, kind of beliefs and what we consider important. And we all know what these are. Economy. I think it was Bill Clinton when he lost the midterms back in 1992 or 3. And he said, it's the economy, stupid. The economy is always going to be number one for the vast majority of people. But there are other issues that are very important to people. Second Amendment, gun rights, abortion, or what they call reproductive rights, are way up there. LGBTQIA, or, gay rights, is way up there. Immigration is way up there. So, there's a handful of things that really resonate with people that cause you to say, I'm going to vote for this person or that. So all these other things are kind of ancillary. I have a good friend of mine who is gay, and he's married, and I love the guy to death. And during the election in 2016, he asked me, he said, why are you voting for Trump? Do you not care about my rights? And that legitimate, logical question. And I said, you know what, I do, and I love you. I absolutely care about your rights. However, in my mind, these things are priority to me, and that is secondary. Now, in his mind, those may have had, a higher billing than things like the economy, national defense, whatever. Immigration in some people's mind is higher. Certainly, as we look abortion and reproductive rights, in some people's minds, that's, way up there, and they will decide who they're going to vote for simply based on that. And you'll see politicians coming out, and they will emphasize one or two things. They'll say, hey, I'll make sure you've got more money in your pocket, or hey, I will make sure that reproductive rights are secured. We're going to codify this, or we're going to make sure we take care of immigration. So it's kind of interesting. We all kind of figure out what's important to us when we vote upon, but it really comes down to satisficing, right? My I had a great professor in college, political science professor, and said, politics are like making sausage. Nobody wants to see what goes into it, but the end result, we kind of all like. And she also said, if both sides are happy, it's not a good agreement, right? And that holds true in business and probably in life, married life. If either side gets everything they want, it's probably not a good agreement. So you end up kind of splitting the proverbial baby and saying, well, I'm going to vote for this person or that person because they tend to represent more of what I like and less of what I don't like. And that's, kind of satisfying. So that is your political science 101 thing we're going to talk about today. And I'll probably revise this, but I would love to hear any questions. You can certainly text me or email me at cmark435 at gmail.com, cmark435 at gmail.com. Look at my blog, globalriskinfo.com, globalriskinfo.com. Thank you.